What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. Well, let's jump right in. So, MLB playoffs is already underway. I'm not sure when you guys are seeing this. Right now is 6:50, almost 7 o'clock Eastern Time, PM that is. So, Texas Rangers, Tampa Bay Rays. But let's actually zoom out for a minute. Let's go over the entire picture. So in the American League, it was Baltimore getting a bye, and it was the Houston Astros who nicked the Texas Rangers in the last day of the season for the American League West Division title. Of course, the Astros were able to grab the division title again. It was inevitable, wasn't it? They get the byes. It will be the Minnesota Twins hosting the Toronto Blue Jays in the first round. More about that in just a second. And the Tampa Bay Rays are hosting the Texas Rangers. Texas took game one in Tampa. They win 4-0, 7 scoreless innings from Jordan Montgomery, who gets game one. Glasnow, who started, he gets the loss. And then right now, Minnesota leaves Toronto 3-1 in the seventh inning. By the time this gets out, that game will be over. So, of course, I'll report on what actually happened tomorrow in that game. But that's what we got so far. We got starting again. We got Diamondbacks, Brewers, and then Marlins, Phillies. And going over to the National League, of course, Atlanta gets a bye, as does the Dodgers. And then it is the Milwaukee Brewers. They are hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks. So it should be a very fun series. You got two. Milwaukee's got a better staff, but both teams are good defensively. Both teams are very fast. Yeah, Arizona's got a little better offensively. That should be a fun series. And then Phillies Marlins, which Phillies should win that series. I would think. That's probably the best. That might be the best series, honestly. The Phillies might be one of the best. Might be the best wild card team, to be honest. That's what we got. By the way, 3 highest paid teams in baseball not in the postseason. New York Mets, of course, not in the postseason. The team with the second highest payroll is the San Diego Padres. They did not make it. Nor did the New York Yankees. You heard that right. The New York Yankees missed the postseason. I think the last time I did that was like 2000 and it might have been 2015 or something. It's been quite a while. But by hearing Aaron Boone might be coming back, so Yankee fans brace for that. Speaking of managers, we have a couple openings already. The Giants fired Gabe Kapler after 4 seasons. In his first year there, I believe they snuck into the playoffs in the pandemic year when they had the expanded field. He had the best, was manager of the year in 2021. That year they lost the NLCS to the Dodgers, but missed the playoffs in back-to-back seasons. He's out. Interesting move. Giants got a solid squad. You know, they're in a tough division. Dodgers are really good. I mean, the Padres were supposed to be amazing. They obviously underperformed a lot. You know, the division wasn't as good as we thought because of San Diego, but yeah, they're in a bit of a tough division. You know, Arizona was pretty solid this year. You know, they got into the playoffs. But, you know, I think the expectation was postseason. They didn't get that, so he goes, you know. Gabe, you know, he was in Philadelphia for 2 years. You know, had a lot of expectations that he didn't meet. You know, 2 very mediocre years there, gets let go. Right away, the Giants picked him up. You know, at first it looked good. You know, first year there in the pandemic year, did all right. You know, it was kind of a weird year. You know, 2021 had a phenomenal year, was manager of the year. You know, overall, I didn't think he did that bad of a job. You know, he loves his substitutions. You know, it's just the way he manages. He uses everybody every game. And but you know, last 2 years they've been not been close, but just on the outside looking in. So he's out. Buster Posey, of course, future Hall of Fame catcher, longtime San Francisco Giant, of course, lifetime San Francisco Giant. He's gonna actually help with the new manager search. So we'll see where they go. The Mets part ways with Buck Showalter for 2 seasons. Buck Showalter was manager of the year last season, led the Mets to 101 wins and a playoff berth. Of course, they blew a big division lead that year, and they lost in the first round. Was a bit of a disappointment, but still took a team that had not made the playoffs since 2016 to an 101 year and the playoff berth. This year, the wheels definitely fell off. Overall, it didn't do nearly as good of a job, and the Mets, of course, were a major disappointment, missing the postseason. And it was announced prior to the well, technically second to last game of the season. The Marlins and Mets didn't make up their last game because it didn't matter for either team. So it went the Bucks and the Mets 1-0 winning. That's what it was when the third inning when the game when the rain came. He announced he was not coming back. I don't mind the move at all. Bucks had a long career. His first job as a manager was in 1992 with the Yankees, so he's been around a long time. He's pushing 70 years old. Overall, didn't do a good job this year, to be honest. The back half of the year I don't put on him because the team was so bad, so then they blew up their team at the trade deadline. But the first half of the year, there was no excuse. They had a couple injuries. Obviously, losing the league's best reliever is in Edwin Diaz for the season before the season even starts is just really, really tough. Losing Justin Verlander misses the first month of the year. That's tough. Starling Marte was really never healthy this year, and he was a guy who was a major contributor last year. He wasn't able to do that this year. I mean, Steve Cohen was, he definitely was the guy he wanted a couple of years ago when he brought him in. He said in his press conference after the year, that it was not his fault. He's continually said that throughout the season that the struggles have not been on him. But they introduced their new president of baseball operations, David Stearns, of course, longtime executive for the Milwaukee Brewers. You got Craig Counsell, whose contract is up. He might be leaving the Brewers to manage somewhere else. There's a connection there, so Stearns wants to bring in his own guys. That makes sense. So that's probably a wrap on Buck's career. Unfortunately, never really won a World Series, but he also won manager of the year like 4 times. So kudos to him if this is it for him. Angels fired Phil Nevin. So look, Angels suck. They're bad. How you have the 2 best players in baseball? I know Trout missed a lot of time, and even with just Ohtani, and they couldn't even sniff the postseason is embarrassing. Every year, they're either suck the whole way or like the first 2.5 months they're solid. They'll look like they might get in, and then they just fall apart. And by the middle of August, the season's over. So that roster construction is just so bad. I really don't think it's on him. I actually thought he did a pretty serviceable job considering the cards he was dealt. So I would have probably kept him another year. Obviously, they're kind of screwed right now because Ohtani is almost definitely leaving. I don't see a way he goes back there. So now that we're stuck with Mike Trout, who is being very injury prone in his last few years because he's had to carry that team for so long. It's taken a toll on him. That's just what happened. No one should be surprised about that. And our Spurs team sucks. It's not good. The team is not good. Doesn't help they are in a brutal division in the American League West. Texas is a good team. Seattle's good. Of course, Houston's really good, defending champs. Outside of Oakland, then obviously Oakland's awful, but that division is brutal also. Heading into the year, the best case scenario is them for probably to be in 4th place. Obviously not as bad as Oakland, nobody is. But they're even like if you thought, all right, even if you thought the Texas Rangers will only be 3rd in the division, all right, fighting for 3rd was what I had them going into the year, at best. Also, why, as bad as the roster construction is, why is the GM Perry Minchie, whatever his name is, stay and he goes? Explain that to me. Angels are a dumpster fire. They've done nothing since they won the World Series in like 2002 or something. So he's out. Of course, Miguel Cabrera's career is over. What a career. First ballot Hall of Famer for sure. 21 seasons. The Tigers are actually moving him into the front office, so he's going to stay in the organization. I think he'll be like a senior assistant to the GM. Jrue Rodriguez, their starting pitcher who had a great year this year, might opt out of the last 3 years and $49 million of his contract. So this is about happened like a week ago. Astros reliever Hector Neris had a little run in with Julio Rodriguez with Seattle Mariners. Mariners, of course, ended up missing the playoffs. They had a little shouting match and it led to the benches clearing. He apologized for it. The MLB is investigating that he used an anti-gay slur. He denied it. Hopefully that's not true, but he did apologize. So that's something that happened. Orioles All-Star closer Felix Bautista, who's been out for a little while, is having Tommy John, so he's probably out for next year. The O's extended them through 2025. That's a big loss for the Orioles. Thankfully, they have a really good deep bullpen, but still, it's a really tough loss. And Luis Arias made history. He won the batting title for the Marlins. He's the first player in MLB history to win back-to-back batting titles in both leagues. He won the batting title in the American League last year with the Minnesota Twins. Now won the batting title in the National League this year with the Miami Marlins. He had over 350 this year. Was flirting with 400 back in like July. Ended up I think at like 354 or something. But an incredible year for Luis Arias. All right, let's move on to hockey. We got the Wild extend Marcus Foligno 4 years, $60 million. The Anaheim Ducks extended one of the league's brightest young players, Trevor Zegras, 3-year deal worth $16.5 million. He's a great player. And some sad news that the Flames' assistant general manager, Chris Snow, unfortunately passed away at the age of 42. Actually from complicated from ALS, of course, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. So, bit of a sad moment there. By the way, the season is right around the corner from the NHL. I have a preview coming soon. I'm shooting possibly Monday or Tuesday. I'm also going to take a little bit of a break after tomorrow because you got Columbus Day coming up, and I'm going to be going home. But keep your eye out for that. Sometime within the next week for sure, we're doing an NHL preview. I'm pretty sure the regular season starts in like a week, so NHL preview right around the corner. So keep your eyes peeled for that. All right, basketball. Obviously, we're pretty close to the NBA season as well. Of course, we have a Damian Lillard trade, which I'll talk about a little bit in a moment. But the Celtics made a big trade, getting Jrue Holiday from the Milwaukee Bucks, a really good point guard to give up Rob Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, a Golden State Warriors 2024 first-round pick that is top 4 protected, and then their own first that's unprotected in 2029. Overall, it's a good move. You know, obviously, Jrue is not nearly as good as Brogdon's not nearly as good as Jrue Holiday. I don't love they gave up Rob Williams. I know he's always hurt and doesn't score much, but he's a really good rim protector and a really good defender. And to me, Boston had two main issues. It was they don't have a really their point guard compared to some of the other contenders. Just I mean, their top point guard was who? Derek White, where he isn't a point guard. After that, it's Malcolm Brogdon, who's good, but just he doesn't measure up to some of the other top point guards in the league, and rim protection. So they fixed the point guard issue by, they shuffle around pieces. They send Marcus Smart to Memphis. You send to get Kristaps Porzingis, which I guess does help a little bit for rim protection. And then you get Jrue Holiday. Obviously, you swap him with Brogdon, but you send out Rob Williams. So I would have tried to keep Rodwell. Obviously, you'd rather trade Al Horford, but Horford's also is in his late 30s. Rob Williams is also really young. Portland's going through a rebuild. They're going to want Rob Williams over Al Horford. That being said, Celtics got themselves a squad. It's definitely championship or bust for them. So that's a big move. Jrue Holiday's a great player, very underrated, great defender, can score, good facilitator, really good player. First, Milwaukee flipped him to Portland for Damian Lillard, and then Portland wasted no time trading him over to the Boston Celtics. And the full Damian Lillard haul is DeAndre Ayton, Rob Williams, Malcolm Brogdon. They get top 4 protected first from Golden State in 2024. So unless Golden State absolutely sucks this year, which is very unlikely, they'll have Golden State's first rounder. They get Boston's first in 2029. They have swap rights with Milwaukee in 2020 and 2030. Honestly, the return's just okay to me. I like Rob for them. That gets them a big. They sent Nurkic to Phoenix. Rob, he has a lot of trouble staying healthy. That was a lot less pressure for him. He's a good player, really good rim protector. I like Brogdon. I know they might move him. He is 30 years old, but he's a very good player. Really good defender, good scorer, can shoot a little bit. And then Ayton, whom I'm not a fan of, but, he was number 1 pick a few years back. He's got talent, and now he desperately needed a change of scenery. Desperately. Good God, he did not fit Phoenix. So I do think he can play a lot better. I'm not, what was he calling himself? Like, Dion, whatever stupid joke he made that he's like really good. I'm not a fan, but I do think with a change of scenery, it could really help his game. So hopefully. And then they get 2 first-round picks, 1 this year, 1 in 5 years, and then 2 swap rights in 4 and 6 years, respectively. Honestly, it's not great. They have a foundation because they had a lot of young pieces already. They just drafted Scoot, who I think is going to be phenomenal. They have Shaden Sharp, You have Anthony Simons, a really good young guard who I like, can score with anybody. You had a couple young pieces that I already like, so and now you'll have 2 firsts in this upcoming draft. I think they'll trade back on Brockman, whether it's before the season or by the trade deadline at least. Could get a couple more picks, maybe another young player for him. But this I do think it's going to be quite a long rebuild. Especially I don't know if Joe Crone, the GM there, the whole front office has done a terrible job. I haven't loved what I've seen from Schulte Billups, so he hasn't had a great team. But we'll see. Portland's definitely going to have a rough few years. I mean, it hasn't been that good, to be honest. If you have Damian Lillard, they haven't made the play in the last couple of years, but it's not going to get any better. In fact, it's going to get worse. Pascal Siakam was talking essentially with the Toronto Raptors. The talk stalled, so they're going to wait and see. For me, Toronto, they got to pick a direction. This year, to me, they're like the Chicago Bulls. If they don't have a really good year this year, win at least a playoff here, which I do not see a world in the Eastern Conference that's even remotely possible. Heck, they'd be lucky if they make the play-ins, but probably will. But I don't think they'll get much further than the first round exit. It's time to blow it up. At some point, you got to stop being satisfied with mediocrity. At some point. So Blake Griffin might be retiring. It's what Celtics GM Brad Stevens said. So I heard they're trying to bring him back for some depth at center, but he might be retiring. So keep your eyes peeled for that. The Spurs pulled out Reggie Bullock. He signed with the Houston Rockets. So the Rockets pick up another bench piece. You got Kaya Jones stepping away from the Hornets for some personal reasons. So hopefully he gets everything sorted out. The Bucks signed Cam Payne, which is I think a very good move. He was also let go by the Spurs. They got him in a trade from Phoenix earlier in the offseason. He's a solid backup point guard. Bucks, if we get Bucks Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, that will be a phenomenal series. Bucks got Damian Lillard, Giannis, Milton, and others. Celtics got Tatum, Brown, Jrue Holiday, and others. That would be a hell of a series. Spurs sent Devin Vassell 5 years, $146 million. Did not expect that. Did not expect Devin Vassell to get nearly $30 million a year, but hey, if you can get your money, go and get it. He's a solid young player, and now with a little more talent around him, maybe of course Victor Wembanyama, maybe he could break out. We'll see what happens. Kevin Durant committed to the 2024 Olympics. LeBron's trying to assemble some Avengers team for his last ride, but apparently Durant already committed. People shouldn't be surprised. Every year in the FIBA, we send out all these young guys and guys who don't even start on their own team. Just like B team, and they lose, and then send out the Avengers Olympics, and they kill everybody. Don't be surprised. So Draymond Green's out 2 weeks with a sprained ankle. Warriors are going to reevaluate him in 2 weeks. And the Clippers are still talking trade with Philly for James Harden. Sixers want more for the Clippers. Clippers don't want to give up a draft pick, so we're still at a standstill. But apparently Harden says he's going to show up for training camp. To me, this is literally Ben Simmons 2.0. This situation is so messed up. I've ranted about it many times of how tired I am of him and Daryl Morey. Please resolve this issue. It's very annoying. All right. Let's talk some college football. Let's talk about the games from this past week. So you had number 19 Oregon State beating number 10 Utah 21-7. So Utah gets with an upset loss there. You had number 1 Georgia beats Auburn 27-20. So Georgia was very close with Auburn. By the way, Brock Bowers had 8 catches, 157 yards, and a touchdown. He might be one of the best tight ends to come out in quite a while. I think he'll be a top 10 pick in this year's draft. Their tight end. I've seen a couple of tight ends last few years have gone really high. You had Hawkinson, I think he was a top 10 pick by Detroit a few years ago. You had Pitts go 4th overall a couple of years ago with Atlanta. It's been a couple, and I think Brock Bowers might be joining them. You have number 2 Michigan being Nebraska 45-7. No surprise there. Number 3 Texas rolls past number 24 Kansas 40-14. Texas looks very good. I do want to see them play like a really, really good team. Only good team they played was Alabama, who they did beat, but Alabama's offense also sucks this year. But I do like what I see from Texas. You got number 6 Penn State beats Northwestern 41-13. Number 7 Washington beats Arizona 31-24. Washington looks really good this year. I know they only beat Arizona, who isn't very good by a touchdown, but they're really good. Number 8 USC beats Colorado 48-41. Caleb Williams throws for over 400 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick. No, USC was up 41-14 at one point, and then Colorado came all the way back. But USC hangs on. USC is gonna do it to us again. They're gonna roll through the season. Everyone's like, oh, they're gonna win national champions. They got Caleb Williams, and then at the end, they're gonna lose that one game to Utah or something. It's coming. I can feel it. And it's not Caleb Williams. It's on Lincoln Riley and that pathetically bad defense as they always have. I don't know why Lincoln Riley brought that defensive coordinator that was awful at Oklahoma with him to USC. Number 9 Oregon beats Stanford 42-6. Oregon looks really good. Number 11 Notre Dame beats number 17 Duke 21-14. Duke's quarterback got hurt in the end. That was a shame for Robbie Leonard. That could be a big hamper in Duke's season. Duke's been good at football this year. That's did not think I would ever say that. Number 12 Alabama beats Mississippi State 40-17. Jalen Moreau threw for 164 yards, and then he ran for 69 yards and two touchdowns. His Lamar Jackson arc, I guess. That offense still doesn't impress me. He played Mississippi State. Congrats. And number 20 Ole Miss beats number 13 LSU 55-49. Wow. Talk about no defense. My goodness gracious. But Ole Miss finessed it over LSU. So LSU's college football hopes are gone. Number 14 Oklahoma beats Iowa State 50-20. Number 21 Tennessee beats South Carolina 41-20. You had Kentucky beats number 22 Florida 33-14. My God, Florida is bad. Who decided to rank them going into this week? Who saw Florida and thought that team should be ranked? Because my God, that team is bad. These Florida teams. Florida State just, finally is turned the corner again after years of futility, but the Gators suck. They have for a little while now. And then you got Miami sucks. Those three used to have those 3 powerhouse programs in Florida, and for a while they've all been garbage until Florida State just this season. Number 23 Missouri beats Vanderbilt 38-21, and number 25 Fresno State beats Nevada 27-9. And by the way, now former Michigan State head coach Mel Tucker has been officially fired. It was already in the works, but he's officially gone. Thank goodness. That whole scandal is absolutely just terrible and horrible. All right, let's talk about the NFL scores from this past week. Thursday Night Football, Lions beat the Packers 34-20. Love did not look great. Threw for 246 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Montgomery ran the ball 32 times for 121 and 3 touchdowns. Did not see a lot of Jahmyr Gibbs in that one. The Lions pretty much beat the brakes off the Packers. That first half by the Packers was one of the most pathetic first half you could have played. They had one total yard at one point. It was bad. It was ugly. Yeah, Jaguars beat the Falcons 23-7 in London in the Toy Story game. The Toy Story Broncos was that's pretty funny. It did its job. Now you got a bunch of 8-year-olds who are going to think Trevor Lawrence is a 2-foot midget. Then they're going to realize he's like 6'6" and has really long hair. Jacksonville not sold on their offense. Something's up with that. But Bijan 14 carries for 105. Oh, Desmond Ridder. Oh, God. He's not good. No, he's just not where it's at. But there are 2-2 though. The Falcons' only way they can win is to run the ball literally every other play, like 40 times a game, and lean on their defense, which is good, but not, I wouldn't say phenomenal. Got the Bills over the Dolphins 48-20. Bills have really rebounded since that tough week 1 loss to the Jets when Zach Wilson played most of the game and Aaron Rodgers got hurt on Monday Night Football. Josh Allen had 4 picks in that game. He's looked phenomenal since. He for 320 and 4 touchdowns. Diggs had a big game, 6 catches, 120 yards and 3 touchdowns. Another good game for Devin Achane now. But Bills definitely the best team in that division. Broncos over the Bears, 31-28. My God, the Bears are bad. Fields had probably the best game of his career, for 335, 4 touchdowns in the pick. Khalil Herbert ran for over 100 yards. DJ Moore, 8 catches for 131 on the score. They blew a 3-touchdown lead in that one. Russ had 3 touchdowns. The Broncos are awful as well. They played a really bad team. My God, the Bears are the worst team in football. They are so bad. Fields, I've lost a lot of confidence in him. Herbert, I like him, but until this, he hasn't looked good. Roschon Johnson looks like the better back right now. Chase Claypool was horrible, by the way. He got benched. They're trying to trade him. I'm not surprised. They give the 32nd pick. It was technically a second round because the Dolphins didn't have a first rounder because of the tampering stuff with Tom Brady a few years ago. But basically, a first round pick to give for Chase Claypool. He has been horrible. He's not that good. Their offensive line is pitiful. I thought it got better. Clearly, it didn't. And holy moly, that defense is bad. It was bad. It was bad the second half of last year. It was pretty bad after they traded Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn. But holy crap! I think it got worse. I don't know. I didn't know that was possible. They are bad, bad, bad. Wow. Adolf Fuchs does not look like a good head coach. I don't know what Luke Getty's doing calling the plays there as offensive coordinator. They are a horrendous football team. And Ryan Poles, right, cool. You move back, got a ton for that first pick, but you took a right tackle over Jalen Carter. They need offensive line, but you should have taken Jalen Carter. I'm sorry. Ravens over the Browns, 28-3. Lamar has 4 total touchdowns, 2 through the air, 2 on the ground. Cleveland's definitely going to miss Nick Chubb, who, by the way, he had MCL surgery, going to have ACL surgery. So he's going to have 2 surgeries. He's expected to return at some point next year. Of course, they're playing Dorian Thompson-Robinson with Deshaun Watson injured. 2 scores from Mark Andrews. Ravens get to 3-1. Browns drop to 2-2. Titans beat the Bengals 27-3. Derrick Henry had a nice game. My God, Joe Burrow. He should not play this week. They play Arizona this week. He should not play. It is so obvious he's playing hurt. Stop running the dude out there. He's not healthy. He should have sat out the first couple of games. Now the Bengals are in trouble. Because they're 1-3 in a very tough division. Cleveland might not be as much of a factor now. Nick Chubb is out for the year. Sean Watson, I'm not sure how much longer he'll be out. Pittsburgh doesn't look good, so the division is coming down to earth than what we thought, but still, they're in trouble, the Bengals. Rams beat the Colts 29-23 in overtime. Colts came all the way back and tied that game, but Rams won in overtime. Stafford was for 319. Kyle Lamb had a big game. Puka Nacua, 9 catches for 163 yards and a touchdown. He's got the most catches through a player's first 4 games ever. He looks amazing. 5th round pick. That's crazy. The Bucs over the Saints 26-9. Bucs look pretty good. Baker Mayfield play well. They look pretty good, actually. Godwin had 114 receiving yards. Also, the Saints looked awful. Derek Carr didn't play well. He probably shouldn't have even played. Got that shoulder injury. Eagles beat the Commanders 34-31 in overtime. Hurts played really well. He looked much better throwing the ball. Big game from A.J. Brown. 9 catches, 175, and 2 scores. Kudos to the Commanders for keeping up with them. Sam Howell played very well. Vikings over the Panthers 21-13. Carolina I didn't think they'd be that good. People saying they could be a sleeper and win that division. I didn't believe it, but they are clearly very far from being a contender. Bryce, I don't think is as ready as we thought. Obviously, still very young. He's only played 3 games. But that offensive line is absolutely terrible. Texans over the Steelers, 30-6. So 2 straight wins for the Texans. I love what they're building. C.J. Stroud looks phenomenal. Damian Pierce is really good. They got some good young receivers. Love D'Amico Ryans and Nico Collins this week. 7 catches, 168, and 2 touchdowns. And for the love of God, the Steelers' offense is horrible. I don't think Kenny Pickett's where it's at. I was never high on him. I'm still not. Najee Harris is a 1-year wonder. Was great rookie, was great at Alabama. He's fallen off since then. Deontay Johnson's hurt. I love Pickens. Outside of that, the offense is awful now. The tight end, 5 moves out. Their O-line just as bad as it was last year. They look awful. How Matt Canada has a job, I don't know. I think I said this before. Matt Canada either is literally actually in love with Mike Tomlin, or he has so much dirt. He has so much dirt on the dude that Tomlin knows if he fires him, he's just gonna drop this bombshell, something that Mike Tomlin did like 13 years ago. Like, it's one of the two. Like, I don't know how he has a job. Chargers of the Raiders 24-17. Raiders started Aiden O'Connell. Herbert got nicked out. I think he broke his finger on his non-throwing, but he's going to play through it. Of course, didn't have Austin Eckler. Still, obviously, Mike Williams out for the year. Chargers dropping like flies already. What else is new? Also, something else that's not news, the Raiders are a bad football team. Cowboys over the Patriots 38-3 in a drubbing. Absolute drubbing. Their defense just went off. The Patriots, I think they might be in for the worst year in Belichick's tenure. Mac, I don't think is that great. He looked really bad. Their offensive line is not very good. The running game hasn't looked great. Hasn't looked as good as we thought. Their weapons aren't very good. And now you lose your best pass rusher, Jrue, who's really underrated, possibly for the season. I think it was his bicep or something. No, I think it might have been his shoulder. Yeah, it was his shoulder. So he's going to be out a while. He's had surgery. And now Christian Gonzalez looked like the defensive rookie of the year, stud corner. He's out. He's out indefinitely as well. So now the defense, which has been the strength of their team, which just got lit up, is down. Probably is down their best two players. It could be a long year for New England. Dallas looks really good, by the way. Niners over the Cardinals, 35-16. McCaffrey, huge game. He had 4 touchdowns. 49ers, they're so good. I think they're the league's best team. Chiefs beat the Jets, 23-20 on Sunday Night Football. Tough loss. I don't think Zach Wilson played much better than we've seen. For 245, 2 touchdowns.
Hey, Jake,
What's up, Liam?
he did better than all last season before.
He really did, Liam. By the way, that's Liam in the back. By the way, he's helping me out today. But yeah, he looked a lot better
in that one game than all throughout his whole career. You can agree with me on this one.
Oh,
Jake.
absolutely. It was the best game of his career, I think. No. I think it had to be. Also, he also handled the media very well, which is something he didn't do last year. So it was definitely night and day with that. I was very happy about. So that was something that was definitely a big positive. But he still made some mistakes. Obviously, the fumble at the end can't happen on the snap.
He always yells at the media. He always does, and blame it on everyone else but him.
Yeah, exactly, Liam. But which is why him taking responsibility was something new. So that's definitely a step in the right direction. I'm still not sold on the kid. I have no confidence in him, but this is definitely positive steps for sure. Again, the fumble, that was typical. That was the typical Zach Wilson. When Gary Wilson burnt the Chiefs' corner and he overthrew him in the end zone, like that's something can happen. He had a few throws balls that were not very good balls that his receivers the receivers kind of bailed him out on. So he didn't play. I don't think he played well, but he was serviceable. Which still not what you want out of a second overall pick 3 years in, but he gave him a chance, which is really all I need. I will say that defensive holding on Sauce was horrible. Awful call. No shot you're calling that. Come on. Not the reason they lost. I'm not gonna come up here and say that. I will never blame the refs for my team losing. I hate when people do that. And it was far from that, If it, just shouldn't have started out as poor as it did, going 17-0. If Zach throws that touchdown to Gary Wilson that he missed, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But the refereeing's got to be better in the NFL. It's been going 7 years we've been going on this missed calls every week for 5, 6, 7 years. Come on. The Steelers beat the Giants 24-3. That game was hard to watch. My God, that Giants offensive line is pitiful. 11 sacks. 11. The Seahawks tie a team record with 11 sacks. No, that is not the amount of sacks they have in 2 games. The last 2 games were almost season. That's last night. Monday night, they had 11 sacks. The Giants, they have led for 19 seconds this year. They are lucky that the Cardinals decide, that's right. The Cardinals decide, yeah, we're tanking. Let's blow a 3 touchdown lead in the 4th quarter. They should be 0-4. I don't see this team winning more than 5 games. Then now they get the Dolphins and the Bills. The Dolphins who got blown up by Buffalo, but still have a great team. They're a good team, and the Bills have been phenomenal since that Week 1 loss. They're going to be 1-5. This team sucks. Daniel Jones is not that good. How he got 160 million? That he should be arrested for that. That's just highway robbery. That's Grand Theft Auto. That is just that's got to be a crime in at least 30 countries. That's just terrible. I know Saquon's been out, but still, their receiving core is terrible. It's not much better than last year. Can they throw a ball down water, please? Like, what the heck? You trade for this shiny new toy and this big tight end who, when healthy, is a beast, top 5 tight end in the league, arguably, and you're not using him. He had two catches last Monday night. I think he was targeted 2 or 3 times the whole game. Like, come on. And holy moly, the offensive line. Oh, it's bad. It's so I'm not sure I've seen the offensive line that bad. And the Jets have had some bad offensive line. The Bengals have had some bad ones. I've seen some bad lines in my day. That might take the cake. Holy crap. And then they got some injuries. Their left tackle, Andrew Thomas, who's one of the league's best, missed the last 2 games. Their center, John Michael Schmitz, got hurt last night. By the way, they literally got 2 guys hurt on the tush push, including their center. If you're going to do it right. Like, come on. Stop playing with me. Come on. And the defense is just fine. You know, their D-line's really good with Larry Williams and Dexter Lawrence, you know, in the middle. Outside of that, there's not a lot to like. Look, I love Brian Daboll, but this team looks unprepared. They lost 40-0 at home in primetime against Dallas, the division rival, Week 1. Then they were at one point were down 3 touchdowns to Arizona, one of the worst teams I've ever seen. Though they're playing better than I thought. Still, they got lucky that they didn't get blown out by the freaking Arizona Cardinals. Then they lose to in week 3. I forget, but they lose to the Niners. Okay, the Niners are probably the best team in the league. Then they didn't have an All-Pro left tackle or an All-Pro running back. Okay, so you got blown up by the Niners in primetime, and then you get embarrassed by Seattle. They never had a shot. Daniel Jones is just gets sacked 11 times. He looked as lifeless as he did. Like, I love Daboll. He was coach of the year last year for a reason, but come on. Like, you gotta have this team ready to play. These days don't look ready to play. And again, I know that offensive line is just god-awful. I don't know who'd like to play on left tackle at this point with Thomas out. And Evan Neal, obviously, he kind of struggled as a rookie. You know, he's still kind of, you know, still learning the NFL playbook. And, you know, they had you had to put Ben Bredesen in there with Michael Schmitz going down. Michael Schmitz was already a rookie. You got Shane Lemieux, who, you know, didn't play, I think, a lot last year because of coming off an injury. And then you had Mark Lewinsky's not playing well. So, but, like, also, like, Mark Lewinsky a couple of years ago was, like, a borderline Pro Bowler. You know, they brought him in last year, and he was pretty good. Now, this year, all of a sudden, he, like, forgot how to play football. Like, their team is awful. The quarterback isn't good. You know, the offensive line is pitiful. They got injuries. They have no weapon besides Dan Walker, who they don't even use. Defense is meh. You know, the offensive coordinator, Mike Kafka, he was never that good. I don't know why he got head coach interviews last year. The team is terrible. Back to the drawing board for them. Well, only other things I got is Jamal Adams suffered a concussion in his first game back in 13 months. And that was tough to see. I'm not a Jamal Adams fan at all, but still, that was tough. He actually said he considered retiring while we're trying to rehab the torn quad. That was a little shocking to hear. Von Miller's going to start practicing. He's eligible to come off IR this week. The Bills' star pass rusher coming off a torn ACL from the middle of last year. Kyler Murray not going to come off when he's eligible this week. He still is several weeks away. I won't even play him. First of all, Josh Dobbs is playing well. I won't even play him. The offensive line is horrible. He's going to get hurt again. I have him sit out, get healthy, go and try next year. I know he's of course he's a little over a year removed from that huge deal, but I would not play him this year. Chargers center Corey Lindsey is on IR with a heart issue, so it's non-threatening. So hopefully he's able to get back from that in a few weeks. Jonathan Taylor trade isn't close. Colts want a second round pick or equivalent value to that. But they put him on like the to come off. He's looked like he's coming back soon. Said they activated all the puppets. So he's got they have a 3-week window to activate him. He returned to practice. I think he's returning to practice tomorrow. So that's a step in the direction for the Colts, who have actually looked pretty good this year. Looked a little better than expected. The Rams extended tight end Tyler Higbee on a 2-year deal. Damar Hamlin came back for the Bills. Their safety, he plays special teams, so kudos to him. Great story. So shout out to him. Chandler Jones saga continued. He was arrested. Apparently, he violated some sort of order, like he couldn't be near his ex-girlfriend. He's been going off. He had that Instagram live saying Aaron Hernandez didn't kill himself. He's clearly not well. He was just cut, and that might be the best thing for him, but he definitely needs some help. So I hope he gets the help he needs. NFL adjusted their gambling policies. Jameson Williams is now able to come back this week instead of next week, as is Nicholas Petit-Frere. They said if you bet on other sports, you violate, you get a year. You bet on if you bet on the NFL, but not your team, actually it was, you get a year. If you bet on your own team, like Calvin Ridley did, you get 2 years. So that's their new policy. Tre'Davious White's out for the year for torn Achilles. Tough break for him. 2 years ago he had a torn Achilles, didn't play much last year, and now a month into the year does it again. That's really, really tough. And by the way, Kenny Pickett has a bone bruise and a muscle strain, but he may not miss any time, so we'll see what happens with him. They have a bye next week, so maybe they'll sit him out week 5 and then so he gets 2 weeks off.
Hey Jake,
what's up, Liam?
At least he's not out again for more pick 6 or any picks.
Yeah, he's not looked good, Kenny Pickett. I said I don't think he's very good, to be honest. I don't think he's where it's at.
I don't know how he got in, but he's fucking ass.
Yeah, he is not good. Not very good. Kendrick Green tore his meniscus. The Texans off the line, and he's awful anyway, to be honest. But he's out indefinitely, so I hope he gets well soon. But he was not performing well. And the Ryder Cup, of course, is over. Team Europe won 16.5 to 11.5. That first day, the first 2 days, U.S. played so bad. Europe dominant, and also the European team played phenomenal. Days over, had a better team. I don't know what Zach Johnson put out that first morning. Not having Spieth and Thomas on the card, big mistake. Was not good. By the way, can Rory McIlroy shut up? He's always starting stuff, starting an argument. Apparently, the caddy in question texted him, said he has the utmost respect for him, but my God, he needs to shut up. I'm tired of his moronic behavior. But Team European wins. Kudos to the U.S. team for fighting back. They try, but just too much of an uphill battle in that tournament, being down 7 points, going into the second to last afternoon. And Canelo Alvarez beats Jermell Charlo in a boxing match, so I think he's still a champion. Already followed boxing, but I know Canelo did win in his most recent fight. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. I'm going to be back tomorrow. Then I'm going to take off probably until like Tuesday or so. Actually, probably until Wednesday. So I'll take a week off, and then so probably a week from tomorrow will be my NHL preview. So keep your eyes out for that. I will confirm that tomorrow. Until next time, so long. Have a great day.